Hey guys, tonight I'm going to be talking about drug screenings that are done on student athletes. There are a lot of different ways that you can be screened for drugs, but the most commonly used, especially like in high school and junior high students, are the urine test. Now, urine tests can be tricky sometimes because, they are the least expensive, but yet they can be very expensive. So when the administrators or the coaches are screening for drugs, um, they screen for things that are either called pregame drugs, which are like tobacco, pain medications, even alcohol. And then they screen for things called postgame drugs, which are like actually otherwise called club drugs. They're like methamphetamines, ecstasy, uh, LSD, things like that. Unfortunately, ecstasy and LSD aren't even screened when they're being screened for drugs. So students realize this stuff and they're using more of these dangerous drugs because they know that they can get away with it. So it's important that laboratories are government certified because laboratories that aren't government certified, they always have false readings. So you don't want to have a student that's having a positive reading when nothing, he hasn't even done anything, he or she. So now, these government certified laboratories, when there are positive drug tests, you're going to have students that are going to give you lots of excuses. And one of the main ones, I got secondhand smoke. So um, they're just talking about, my friend was smoking marijuana, but I wasn't. So um, it's very true that it can show up, but there are cutoffs when it comes to screenings. These screenings are done by a person called an MRO, which is a medical review officer. These people are, have so many certifications in drug screenings and things like that. Like they are highly qualified. And they know the cutoffs when it comes to marijuana or nicotine. I have it right here. Nicotine, it has to be above 300 nanograms per milliliters to be even considered positive. So, and THC between 20 and 50 nanograms. So, these medical review officers know when a student is lying or not. Obviously, if you smoke it, it's in your lungs, it's in your bloodstream, you're going to have more of a reading than that. Now, let's see. The MROs must be uh, they must be willing to phone the parents. So like I feel like parents would take the MROs more seriously than they would an administrator or coach. It's more important that I get a phone call from my doctor than I get a phone call from a secretary of a doctor's office. I want to know if my child is doing drugs. I want to know what the test said, what it said it was positive for. Um, and so these MROs are calling the parents if they do test positive for pain medications. They want to see prescriptions from the parents, and they actually call the physicians themselves and get the prescription sent over themselves. And if this does happen, then they are able to rule the positive as negative. They are able to rule the test as negative instead of positive. So, it's better that that happens. I wrote down here that even if the parents do know about their child taking a pain medication before uh, an athletic event, like let's say my child has a hurt knee and they're hurting, so I give them a hydrocodone or something like that, but they aren't prescribed for it, these MROs are still going to test these tests as positive. They're not just going to say it's negative just because the parent knows about it. Like, this is still illegal. Um, let's see. This led to my next question. So, how many student athletes are caught using drugs? And the results are pretty surprising. Not only is it student athletes that are using these steroids and proteins and all this. These are actually used by non-athletic students. They're used for like figure enhancing. Like girls are using it for losing weight. Boys are using it to gain muscle, even if they are not athletic. And let's see. Excuse me. I have it right here, some of the statistics. We have anabolic steroids ranging from 3.2 to 7%, caffeine ranging over 73%, HGH at 11%, and protein substances 38% by boys and 18.2% by girls. Proteins may seem harmless, but a lot hides under the labels. 8 to 20% of the products, like the protein products, are tested positive for high levels of lead. Like these can be dangerous. I found this at healthline.com, and using these substances can lead to more. I've had personal experiences with some of my friends that have been in my athletic programs that have started off with protein or steroids, and this has led to like much more, and now they're in rehabs and facilities. So please, I just want y'all to take this information into hand and spread the word and do some research yourselves, because I uncovered some amazing things tonight. Thank you guys for listening to me, and y'all have a good evening.